Hi everybody, my name is Dan French and I'll be your professor for History 1070 this semester at University of Toledo. So one of the things I want to do in this short video is introduce myself, and as I said, I am Dr. Dan French. Most people call me Dr. Dan, and I teach American history, world history, and history of technology and history of business here at the University of Toledo. This course, History 1070, is kind of a weird history course because I don't even really consider it history. I mean, it goes from 1900 to the present time, and I was alive for most of that time. So it's more like current events for me. But it's a class that is going to give us an opportunity to sort of compare what's going on around the world. And obviously, a lot of stuff happened since 1900, like a couple of big wars, right? And a lot of technology. So we're going to try to get into all that and talk about how it sort of changed the world. But before we do that, this video really serves just to give you contact information. So again, Dr. Dan, my phone number is 419-345-7220. My email address is Daniel, D-A-N-I-E-L .French, F-R-E-N-C-H @utoledo.edu. But again, the cell number, which is 419-345-7220, is the best way to get in touch with me. I prefer texting, but if you need to give me a call, you can do that too, as long as I'm awake and it's not too late or in the middle of the night or anything like that. So as far as what I do, how the class runs, the class is super easy. I gave you the contact information so you'll never hesitate to reach out if you need me for something. Maybe you're going to be late with an assignment, or you have a question about an assignment. Never hesitate. Just go ahead and reach out. I usually get back to people within minutes, really. I mean, sometimes on a weekend, maybe not. But anyway, feel free to do that. As far as the class goes, it's really not that difficult. There are 8 quizzes, and my quizzes have 5 questions apiece, 10 points per question. It's an online class, so obviously the quizzes are open book, right? I would love to tell you to keep your book shut, but I know you won't, and that's okay. So the quizzes are open book. They're not timed either, so you can stop and come back and finish it later. So if you're a person who needs sort of accommodations for testing, like extra time or that sort of thing, none of that's going to matter because these aren't timed anyway. So there's that part. So there's 8 quizzes. I call them low stakes quizzes. In other words, if you tank a few of them, it's not going to hurt you that much. You have an opportunity to make it up with other quizzes. There's also 3 writing assignments. I know that sounds scary. I don't even want to call them essays. I mean, they're shorter than a paragraph. Seriously. What I like to do is to have you find some key points out of the book for an assignment and talk about maybe 2 or 3 key points or something like that. I like to keep it really easy because my philosophy is that if you read the entire book and try to remember everything, you're going to come out of the class angry and not remembering anything. So I try to keep assignments super easy, so at least we walk away with some knowledge. So at the end of the day, we can say, hey, I didn't know what was going on in Japan, in the early 1900s, or I didn't know what was going on in China or in the Middle East during World War II, which is in the 1940s. So we're going to try to stick to the big points. So these writing assignments, they're worth 200 points apiece. The big key with writing assignments on me is to follow directions to the letter. I give you really tight directions with rubrics, and as long as you follow those directions, you'll get an A. Always. I mean, most people get an A in here. If you don't get an A, it's because you didn't follow directions or you were, absurdly late with something and I couldn't take it anymore. But that's really a rarity. As far as the writing stuff goes, I suppose, the big thing now is everyone's using Chat GPT, artificial intelligence to write their papers. You can go ahead and do that if you want. I don't care. But the stuff's got to come out of our textbook and it's got to be cited. So Chat GPT won't be able to do that for you. But I mean, that's fine if that's the tool you want to use. As long as the paper hits the points and we accomplish our learning objectives, I don't really care how we get there. So that's it for me. This was just a short intro. Again, my phone number, text 419-345-7220. My email, daniel.french @utoledo.edu. I'm Dr. Dan. We're going to have a great semester. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.